Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Jackie and welcome to my channel, Leisure Reads. So today is going to be a little bit different of a video. As you can see, I'm not by my bookshelf. So today we are going to the National Book Festival in Washington, D.C. Washington is about a 2-hour drive from here. As you can see, we don't live in the city. I lived in the city for 4 years when I was in school, and when I graduated I decided I wanted to come back home to the country and just get back in touch with nature. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of where I live. So right behind me is the river. We go out here onto the river and we like to go fishing. We have kayaks that we take out across to the marsh behind us, and we go out and we look at wildlife, the plants, and just kind of enjoy the day out on the water. Over here is the family dock that we also go out to fish, and over this way we have a beach that we sometimes fish off of, but mostly we use it to hang out with friends. We have a little bonfire pit down there, so we go down there, hang out with friends, and enjoy the water. So over here is a cornfield. It's on the other side of our house. It's really nice to have the cornfield in view of our house, because in the springtime we get to see the crops start growing again, and it's really nice to just be back in touch with nature and see the cycle of life. So my sister-in-law is on her way over. We're going to eat breakfast really quick before we head out, but I'm going to try to film clips on the trip over to show you guys the transition from country into city, and I will also try to film some clips in the book festival to show you kind of what it's like to be there.
And at the end, I'll do a... Am I still in view? It'll be good to get a wider view. That's fine.
You're good now.
And at the end, I'll do a wrap-up to show you guys what I did, what I got, and kind of what I thought overall of the festival. So I'll see you guys again soon. Bye! book festival. It's actually Monday. We got back really late Saturday night and then went over to visit with some family who was actually about to go back home to another state. So we spent a little bit of time with them before they took off. So we actually got on the road a little bit later than we wanted to, but it was okay. We got to the festival. There were 3 authors we were planning to see. We were planning to see Leigh Bardugo, David Levithan, and Marisha Pessl. So we actually missed out on Leigh Bardugo. By the time we got to her line, she actually had 5 different lines set up for people who were getting their book signed, and they had actually closed down the lines so nobody else could get in line because she was on very limited time as she had a author presentation taking place right after signings. So we actually missed out on getting those books signed. I was actually pretty upset, but it's okay. I still get to read the books and have them on my shelf. Even if they aren't signed, maybe that opportunity will come along at some other point. It just wasn't meant to be. We stopped at David Levithan's booth and I got Every Day signed by him. This is actually a book for one of my friends. I'm going to ship it out to him in the next day or two. And I know he's already read this book, but I know he loved it. So I thought it would be nice for him to have a signed copy. I'm super excited to send this to him, and hopefully he'll be excited to have a signed copy. After that signing, we walked around a little bit. We got to stop at several different booths, talked to several people who were there presenting. So we stopped at the Library of Congress table, as they are actually the people who are hosting the National Book Festival. We stopped in to talk to them a little bit. We stopped by the National Geographic booth, and they had a giant National Geographic rectangle setting out that you could actually take pictures in front of, so obviously we stopped for a photo op. We stopped at a table and were able to write down some of the books that influenced us greatly in our childhood. I, of course, wrote A Series of Unfortunate Events. My husband wrote down Lord of the Rings, and my sister-in-law wrote down several books, including The Lord of the Rings. After that, we kind of walked around, looked at several more booths. We got stamps on our hand. My stamp said, "Enjoy today," and my husband and sister-in-law got the same stamp that said, "It's your day." I really loved having that stamp on my hand, as it just reminded me to live every day like it's your last and just really enjoy the day and cherish it. After just walking around and kind of taking it all in, we went up to Leigh Bardugo's presentation that she was having, where she just kind of discussed her books, her characters, and what it was like to build those worlds. I really loved this presentation. She is beautiful, hilarious, and smart. So while we were sitting there, people were obviously allowed to go up and ask her questions. She got many different questions, ranging from what was it like writing for her, and does she have any tips to share? What is it like finding an agent? Who is her favorite character? Which she had a very hard time answering, as I feel like any writer would. This presentation was awesome. It was really great being around people who deeply loved Inej and Kaz just as much as I do. Plus, it helps when Leigh Bardugo was able to make us laugh the entire time. After that presentation, I ran downstairs as fast as I could so I could get to Marisha Pessl's signing. I was most excited for this signing all day. If you guys have watched my last video or two, you know that I recently read Night Film and I absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorite thrillers I've read this year and one of my thrillers of all time. So having the opportunity to get that book signed when it was still so fresh in my mind was so exciting for me. I made it downstairs, I got in line, and I ended up making some friends along the way, talking to them about, different books, what it's like to be at this book festival. One of the girls I met, this is her first festival or signing like this ever. She comes from a really small town, just like I do, and she was there to get books signed for her library, which I thought was super awesome of her. So she was really excited to be there, and she said she will most definitely be coming next year. So it was really fun to just talk to people and get to know kind of why they wanted to be at the book festival, what they were excited for, and, just hear about their experiences of the day. So as we were waiting for Marisha Pessl, my excitement kept growing and growing. I was so excited to get this book signed and to finally meet her. So obviously the first book I got signed by Marisha Pessl was Night Film, And because my husband and I both read this, I actually got this book addressed to both of us. And then she also wrote Sovereign Deadly Perfect, which, if you read Night Film, is Cordova's motto. I thought that was a great touch to add on to this book. Super excited to have a copy of this book sitting on my shelf that's been signed by the author. Next book I got signed by Marisha Pessl was Neverworld Wake. This is her new young adult thriller. I have not read it yet. I am looking forward to reading it as soon as I finish the book that I'm currently on. But because I was already there, I already had it, and I was getting her to sign Night Film, I just went ahead and got this book signed as well. And because I do not think my husband will read this book, even though he read Night Film, this book doesn't really seem like something he would enjoy. So I went ahead and got this book addressed to just myself. I'm really excited to have a signed copy of this, and I look forward to reading it, and hopefully I will love it just as much. While she was signing my books, I had the opportunity to ask how she got the idea for Night Film. She told me she was actually reading an article about a famous director and started to wonder what if there were underground channels for movies just like there currently are for other forms of art. So that kind of inspired her to write this book. Marisha Pessl is so sweet. She's beautiful, she's smart, and amazingly talented. I am so happy that I had the opportunity to meet her, and she seemed like she genuinely wanted to connect with everybody who was there to get their book signed, which, as a book lover, I really appreciate when the author genuinely wants to connect with you. After I got these books signed, I was on cloud 9. I was so excited to have these books signed. It just made the rest of my day. I was walking around bubbly, happy, and couldn't stop smiling that she was so wonderful, and I had gotten my book signed, that she actually had a genuine conversation with me and seemed interested in who I was. I really appreciate it as a book lover, and I am so excited to read the next book by her, and I will continue to keep her on my radar as an author to look out for. So after I got those books signed, it was getting pretty late. We walked around the festival one last time, kind of took a look around. We did end up getting these tote bags that say National Book Festival 2018 on the side of them, which was really convenient to help take some of the load of the books out of the bag that we were carrying, and it made it really easy for us to be able to transition between books. I am so excited that I went to the book festival this year. It was my first time ever personally getting a book signed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed getting a glimpse of the National Book Festival. Hopefully you guys can attend next year. It happens right around the same time every year. It's usually the end of August, beginning of September in Washington, D.C. It is an amazing festival with great authors, and it is great to just be part of a community that loves books just as much and understands how important they are. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate it. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. The links are in the description below. I hope to see you guys again soon, but in the meantime, make it a great day. Bye!